This week on Carlie's Couch, we're talking about birthdays, the fun feelings, and sometimes the not so awesome feelings that come along with them.
And speaking of, this week is my birthday, so
Woo! Everybody go to Carlie's profiles and wish her happy birthday. Happy birthday! Anyway, yeah, she turning, how old?
36.
Okay, 36 this year. So please be sure to send a special review to the podcast today. Share it. Just wishing Carlie a happy birthday. And enjoy the episode as well, because I don't know what zodiac thing is this?
Sagittarius, baby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my dad's also Sagittarius. I have a couple of friends who are Sagittarius as well. So for any other listeners, listen to this episode. Let us know if you're feeling kind of similarly about your birthday. And for everybody else, see if you can identify. But first, we're going to answer the question from the couch.
What is the weirdest question you've been asked on a date?
Ugh. And we got a lot of weird questions that have been asked on dates. The first one says, if this doesn't work out, can I have your eggs? Like from her ovaries.
Another one.
I'll let you know what they're there for.
That's it. I got asked about my military tag on my car, then got told that I didn't look disabled.
Yeah, it's real. They could have been more curious and asked that better. That's all. One person said, I had a man ask me on a date if I wanted him to be my baby daddy. Because guys just like feeling important like that, and they just like that. Okay.
Someone else said, I went on a date this past summer and the woman grilled me for 15 minutes straight about why I didn't have any kids. She even went as far as to imply that I might be gay. And I think he's in his early 40s, maybe.
That's whack. I hate stuff like that.
Yeah, like
why you don't have kids? They just didn't have nothing to talk about. That's so boring. So boring. Okay, the next one says, why do I not think it's my womanly duty to have a man's child after telling him I don't desire to have kids? Oh, I get it now. I was reading that kind of differently, but I get it. They asked you why. Okay, so you was with the Black Israelites. Another one said, if I want to do a line, okay.
Also, listen, they from Texas, so like that's a big deal for that. That happens a lot less often out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely a transplant.
What about you? Do you have like any weird ones off top?
Yeah, I would say one of the weirdest ones is, because it wasn't even a date. I should have known better, because first of all, they had acted like they didn't have their wallet for a business meeting, and so then they were like, "Oh, let me make it up to you," and so I was like, "All right, cool," but like, so he already kind of played me. And they were there, and like his first questions were like, how many roommates do you have? How do you clean? Do you know how to clean the bathtub? And like he was really just asking me all these weird questions about my life. And then at one point he was even like, do you think you could get me? And I was like, yes, but I don't. Like I was dead ass in the bathroom. Like actually I remember tweeting about it from the bathroom, and then I like called my Uber so fast. Like by the time he was like, oh, you trying to get dessert? I was like, yeah, my car is gonna be here in like 2 minutes, dog. Like it was so whack. And it sucks because he's also like this super rich like person. And it was funny because with my startup, I saw him maybe, I don't know how many months later, but I was just like, you're such a weirdo. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I think we've all gotten the ick from somebody. Mine is less weird and just more funny and random. But we're having a nice little date at the beach, little coffee date, walking, talking, and then we were sitting on the blanket and drinking coffee, just watching the waves and stuff. And he looks at me in my eyes, and I look at him, and he says, how much do you owe in student loan debt? And I'm like, bro, what? Like,
before they add on to it.
All right. Okay. And not that I have an issue answering that a lot, but like I just did not think in that moment that was the question that was going to come out.
Yeah, I totally act like that doesn't exist. That's crazy. Okay, interesting. So if anybody else has any weird they don't have to be first dates stories, but like any weird questions from dates, I'd be interested to know as well. So birthdays. Carlie, with your birthday coming up, being now essentially, how do you feel in this moment?
I feel excited. I feel a lot of things. I feel like the end of the year for me is a lot of emotions. So but right now in this moment, I feel very excited and grateful and reflective. Those are always top of mind.
So that makes me wonder too, because birthdays that are around holidays, like mine has a little bit of space, and Valentine's Day is not like the craziest holiday. But with birthdays that are around like holidays that also center around other people and family, or like Christmas, Thanksgiving, etc. Does it feel hard for you to differentiate like your own birthday, or like growing up and all that even?
Bro, okay, so growing up, it was, birthmas presents suck, okay? Y'all have friends,
Oh man, I bet.
partners,
I bet.
kids whose birthdays are next to Christmas. Do not play them and only give them one gift. Because
wait.
everybody else gets two.
Let's do the math. So when should you not conceive to have a Christmas kid? Because I need that information.
I'm about to say, if we doing like 9 months, so
yeah, give them
around
a 9.
like around the end of February, beginning of March, maybe.
Dang,
sometime in March.
Chilly around that time.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's real cozy.
Are those the Valentine's one?
It's after that.
Sometimes.
It's a little bit after, but it's around there. It's around there. Anywhere from end of February to maybe end of March ish. But all of that to say, like, I love my birthday. I love that it's around holiday time because I love all the Christmas lights. I love all that stuff. But I do
could
find
have had that anyway.
Yeah, for sure. But it feels extra special for me, you know. But I like I always have finals on my birthday in college every fucking year. Jesus. I had a final at 8 a.m. on my 21st birthday and the next day. I was like, y'all are so disrespectful. 8 a.m. Anyways, so that feels disrespectful. And it's also hard to coordinate birthday things because everybody has family shit around the holidays. And so I used to always do a game night. I love doing game nights. COVID kind of put a dent in that. But then as I'm getting older and more people have families and they travel, it's been harder to like get to spend time with people. And so I kind of drag out my birthday celebrations like with people pretty much through January because people be gone. Like every year I think you've been gone on my birthday, like for the past few years. And so just thinking about all my friends and loved ones, people don't be here.
Okay. So I guess also what I'm hearing is for you, it's important to spend your birthday with people. For me, I love just like a lot of times just relaxing on my birthday or just being somewhere else. And not necessarily, like I never had a lot of birthday parties and things like that growing up outside of like our family. Birthdays are super important with our family. So even if I was in college or somewhere, my parents always at some point, like we had a cake and had dinner and all those things. So for you, that is important to spend it with people?
No. Then so I like to the thing for me is I want to do something I haven't done every year. Like every year for like the past, I want to say 15 years, I've tried something new around my birthday and been intentional. And I invite people, and if they can come, they can. If they can't, then I'm going by myself. And so I like just trying new things. I've done lyra hoop. I did done different dance classes. I did an ikebana class this morning, which is like a Japanese flower arrangement class. All kinds of stuff. I just love trying new things. But I like to spend time with people that I love around my birthday. It doesn't have to be on my birthday, but around. I just want to be surrounded by people that I love and that love on me.
Oh, yeah. I just went on the best birthday trip ever. Shout out LaShawn. But it was funny because it was literally a month after her birthday. But to your point, that's what happens, I guess, with like trying to, get people all aligned on times and things like that. But we went to Mexico City for her birthday, and it was so fun. I'm planning a destination birthday for my next birthday. And let's see, not this year, but the past year, I think I was in like Tahiti. Before that, I was somewhere. So in the Bahamas, one of the years, I think. So I really like to travel a lot. Cartagena one time, I remember. So I'm always just wanting to be somewhere warm because the thing about my birthday being in February is that I just want to get somewhere that's not as cold. Although living in LA, it's like, all right, but still, it's just like, look at this beach while you're at home doing whatever. So yeah, you're definitely on the list. It's funny because I've been making a list. My next birthday for me is 40, so it's a milestone birthday. And at first I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like fly everybody out to like this thing and da-da-da. And then as it started getting closer, I was looking at my bank account like, I don't know. And at first I was kind of like, man, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to do something by myself or whatever. But it really was talking to a friend who I just went on a birthday trip and then getting ready to go on the birthday trip I just went on. That made me realize, like, I'm like thinking too hard. It's not that deep. Like just invite people, whoever could come or whoever wants to come, they'll come. Whoever can't, then it's fine. And so I like had to de-escalate like how crazy I was trying to make it in my brain. But I've had a list in my phone for a couple months of like people to invite for my 40th birthday party. And so this is different for me because I don't usually try to involve like a whole lot of people like that.
Yeah, that's exciting. Look, I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a lot of back and forth because it's like, are you interested? And then I got to be like, okay, so based on who's interested, now I got to figure out stuff with this number. And then you got to ask people again and let it keep going down and whittle. But either way, I know where I'm going to be in February. So yes, and hopefully Carlie might be. So
I will be there too.
Right. And people from all random walks of my life. So we'll see.
That's very exciting. Yeah, that's my goal. Like, I want enough bread to just fly out people to a place and do it somewhere else. That's my goal. So hopefully around my 40th or before my 40th, we get to do that. Tickets on me. But I notice around people's birthdays, like when you're little, it's really exciting and you're like, oh, my birthday is all about me. For most people, unless you're like, you have social anxiety and then maybe you don't enjoy that. But as we get older, I find a lot of people be really stressed out or anxious around their birthdays. Why do you think that is?
I agree. And I think there could be a lot of stress because at that time it's extra attention on like reflecting on your life. So very much so, even for milestone birthdays especially, it's a time where it's like, okay, I'm turning another year older and it's just like, what have I done? Like, what am I doing? Do I enjoy this relationship or my schedule or my work? And you might start thinking about ideas of places you'd be at this time or things you would have accomplished. And so a lot of times it can be a little stressful just because of your own like thoughts and goals and things like that. And maybe also it could be stressful just because people don't really want to be celebrated, or they kind of act like they don't want to be celebrated. And so it kind of makes you a little down if you, it's like if you don't try, but then, other people might not have did something, but people don't know you want to do something, whatever. I think there could be stress with the relationships around that time, and how to celebrate or if they celebrate. And if you have to be the one to, put some things together, then that could be stressful, perhaps as well. And then maybe just outside of that, just if life is lifing at those times where it feels like you're supposed to be all excited and happy today, but it's like, dang, like a few things just happened or life is, hard right now. Then I think that adds like an extra layer of like kind of sadness, I think sometimes, or stress to your birthday.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about for people around the holidays, like the end of the year is so crazy anyways. It just adds like an extra layer of stuff, like really thinking through it and trying to be understanding with everybody at this end of the year, either go time or no, I'm resting, or no, I need rest, but I have to finish all these things. And so it just becomes like overwhelming and anxious. I think the biggest piece though is like, and the hardest is if you feel like you're not where you want to be, and then it can become really like self-deprecating kind of.
Yeah. In the last couple months, like I don't think that's exactly what I felt as far as looking for like what that statement would be. But for some reason I couldn't really identify, and I still don't, but like I did have some kind of, it was like a cloud over me a little bit. And I think it kind of related to my birthday slightly because like all of a sudden I just started thinking about like, I need to get serious. Like that's kind of the thought that I was thinking. And I'm not sure exactly what sparked it, but like it felt, I could tell it had to do with like, all right, like I'm about to be 40. And then I was thinking about just different things that I wanted to be focused on or locked in on. But then I kind of did start doing some things differently. I kind of isolated a little bit more as far as like from being out at stuff, or I wasn't really in the mood to talk to people as much. And so I noticed that. And I know what another part of it was too. I had went on a lunch with a guy who's a big business guy here, and one of the things we were talking about was like purpose, and kind of posed a couple questions to me that I was like, I don't really know exactly what to say about that. And so I think also knowing my birthday was coming up, and I felt like, dang, like why am I even here? And I was like really pondering like that question, because it's like, yes, I think that might be the key to everything. And I was like, okay. But I literally spent like a couple weeks pondering that. And I think that's actually what had sparked the cloud, because I was like, I don't know. And then literally one day, like I was just like, kind of completely chilling, and I like laid my head on my desk, and I thought about something, a couple things that people had said the day before, and one other situation, and all of a sudden it like clicked together as like what the answer to the question was, and then I was like, oh, and then all of a sudden it kind of sparked like in different places of the things I want to lock in, kind of having a reason to, and I think from there, and then realizing like, oh, I can do something cool for my birthday. Then it kind of like went up from there. But like for a moment, it was just like what's the purpose of life? Was like, yeah, like what's the point of 40 and beyond if it's like for what? So in general, I'm glad that happened like a little earlier, but I definitely could tell like thinking about your birthday could be months ahead. It is not even like just like the week before or anything like that. So I've experienced that. And I know in the past I've experienced similarly around my birthday as well.
Yeah, it's always a great point of existential crises. And so is the end of the year. Like any time where you feel like it's a new season, a new turnover, a new lease on life, whatever, like any of those moments trigger those existential crises. I think also it can be tough like for people thinking about dealing with grief. So the last time I ever spoke to my mom before she passed was on my birthday. Aww. And so last year was my first birthday without her. And I was trying to be so excited. But I was in the car and one of her songs came on my playlist and I just lost it on the way to a birthday thing, showed up bawling. It was just like, oh my gosh. But, you know, it's like joy and that. Like, I'm glad I loved her deep enough that is a thing. And I knew she loved me, but that doesn't make it suck any less that she's not here to call me on my birthday. And so really just processing all of those things and what's for you. So thinking about for your birthday, you know, can you be kinder with yourself? Can you be more gentle? Are there things you do need to lock in and figure out? Because that's real too.
How are you going to celebrate yourself?
How are you going to celebrate yourself and not wait on other people? And if you are expecting other people, do they know you're expecting them to do a thing? Because you don't want to be let down on your birthday. And we talked about being hyper independent, and that just feeds into it. So if you really want people to help you do stuff or help you celebrate, talk to them about it. Make sure that they know, or ask them like, can you plan something for me or plan a dinner or whatever? What I'm doing this year is like 36, which I don't know if it's going to actually be that number, but aiming for a 36, because I don't know if I love that many people. But anyways, 36 dates with people that I love, doing things that like either new things, something that they love and they want to share with me, something that I love and want to share with them, or just spending really intentional time with them.
That is a lot of people. If they have to be separate people.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I
don't
know
if it's just 36 things.
Yeah, I think it's 36 things because 36 people sound like a lot. No, thank you. I'll be celebrating through my birthday next year.
Right, or basically. Which at the end of the day, maybe that kind of is like a year-long endeavor actually to do that many things. That's a lot of weeks. So kind of to wrap up the episode, Carlie, going into the next year for you, talk about if you do have any specific intentions for it, and if you haven't thought about it, then that's fine. If it's just like continue to live every day, but what are you looking forward to in the next year?
Someone asked me this recently, and because I'm always the person to ask, well, what's a lesson you learned from this past year? And stuff. I don't know if I learned any lessons per se, but I set up more systems that I'm proud of. I set out a goal and accomplished it, and doing more speaking and more personal trainings, or not more professional developments and trainings, like on a big scale for teachers and people in after school. And so I just want to be more intentional about my business, but my goal would be like more joy, more adventure, more life, like all those things that I love. So someone was so basically you just want to be more of yourself. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I think that is the real goal. And to your point, like, I feel like I'm making fun of you because I'm like, all right, how many times you're going to always be like more of the same stuff is always the same thing. But at the end of the day, that is such a good reflection that you are in the space that you want to be in, because it's just, well, I just want more of this. So that's a beautiful thing, to just continue to be more aligned with yourself. And I think that is a great goal to have. So everybody, again, wish Carlie happy birthday this week. Share the episode with somebody. We are going to celebrate today. So I'm going on my one of 36 dates tonight for Carlie's birthday. We hope you all have a great week and see you next time.
Peace.